Hi, my friends. Welcome back. It's Goddess J. Just doing another vent sesh on my commute to work. So, I really enjoy my commutes. I work a hybrid remote position, but when I get to drive into work, it is my peaceful time, my peaceful place. This is where I get to talk to my spirit guides, where I get to talk to my ancestors, where I get to clear my head and set my intentions. So anybody commuting into work, I really encourage you to possibly look into connecting with your spiritual guides on your commute to work. Today I felt called, I've been having some very vivid dreams lately. I've been developing some additional abilities. From watching my channel, you might have heard that I'm claircognizant and I'm clairsentient. Well, lately, I educate people on their clair abilities, and I've been developing some clairaudient abilities. And just my abilities in general have been so heightened lately. It's crazy. I don't even know how to describe it. Just my intuition, hearing conversations, not hearing things, but it's like when you tap into your subconscious, you just know. You know, that's a gift of claircognizance. And lately I've been able to just know things, know the other person's perspective on things. And quite frankly, it gets sickening sometimes, especially when I know what the truth is, my truth. And then I look at it, being such an empath, I look at it from their perspective and I can see the twisted, distorted views, and that's their truth, I can't take that away from them, nor would I want to, but man, if anybody's been experiencing an increase in their abilities lately, let me know, because the downloads have just been crazy lately. Well, from my dreams, I was going into this mirror dimension last night. I'm not going to get too elaborate on it because I'm not sure if it would really make sense to the collective, to the mass majority of you. But I've been really dealing with some astral projecting in my sleep, lucid dreaming, just people from my past coming back that I haven't talked to in years. I had an ex come to me in a dream the other night, and haven't talked to them in years, and they just hugged me. And I felt in the dream that they really needed my empathy. So I just hugged them back, in my dream, and I released them with love, and I woke up feeling like their soul was, more complete. And so if any of you have been having some crazy dreams, drop it, because I want to hear. I think that a lot of people are ashamed to share their spiritual journeys. They're ashamed to admit, hey, I hear, such and such, or I see such and such, because from somebody that suffers from mental disabilities, I have little backstory, vague. I will be doing a future sesh on this in more detail in the future, but I have CPTSD, I have OCD, and I have ADHD, if you want to label it. I don't call it really much of a disability. I think that it's just, changes in my brain from life experiences, and some of it has been a gift. For instance, ADHD, I think in different ways. I can pull off 5 simultaneous tasks at the same time, and everybody's like, slow down, but I'm like, no, this is how my brain works. So, I think that in some ways these things can be gifts. I think that a lot of the neurodivergency that we're experiencing in society today is just the humankind evolving. It's time to evolve, and it's got to happen somehow. And we've tried to suppress it so much. I mean, look around you in society. The stuff just poured down our throats. TV, gaming, accessories, cell phone usage. So much has been there to block us from leveling up. And I think a lot of people are ashamed to talk about their mental divergency because there's a lot of people that still don't understand it. I mean, back in the other generations prior to us, I'm a millennial, but in generations prior to us, they didn't talk about that stuff. If you went to see a therapist, something was wrong with you, And I think it's really beautiful in this age of Aquarius that we're in, that a lot of people are coming together and just, not ashamed to talk about anxiety, not ashamed to talk about stress, not ashamed to talk about when they're struggling, because I think this opens up avenues for us to be there for each other. I think that there's nothing to be ashamed of with mental divergency. But yeah, I think a lot of people aren't talking about their clear abilities because they're fearful that others will peg it as, schizophrenia or something. And I've been there. A lot of these vent sessions, I do great with tarot. I love tarot. I mean, I've been studying it for years. I've been studying astrology for 16 years, giving away my age here. I'm not ashamed to be 31, but I think a lot of people are scared to talk about their abilities because they're fearful that others will judge it as a mental disability. And there's been times where I've opened up about my spiritual gifts, and I've received the backlash from other people that are like, oh, well, you're hearing things, you're seeing things. Are you sure you don't need to be checked out by a therapist? Honey, thank you for your empathy. Thank you for your misguided judgment. I see a therapist. I am medicated. These are abilities that have been there since I was a child. I've always seen things. I've always viewed the world differently. I've seen the social, schematics, as you would say, from a very early age. I've seen, the behavioral patterns amongst others and how they react to each other, mostly because I was bullied. And I was abused as a child. So in order to avoid punishment or repercussions, I had to be on guard around other people so that I could get out of a negative situation if it was going to turn that way. So I did it as a protective mechanism that, it developed my abilities. I've always been a spiritual person. I grew up in Louisiana, in the Bible Belt, being a very spiritual person. And I think that this has really shaped my viewpoint on life. I don't know what you want to call it, divine, God, Buddha, whatever, higher calling. I've always believed that there's, good and negative, but that really in my adult spirituality journey, I've really learned that it's all important. The dark and the light are very important. And that's another message I want to put out there, and I might do a future reading. I've had some friends, they need somebody to talk to. I mean, the spiritual community, we're very, very, torn up right now. There's so many downloads coming in. There's so many shifts in astrological, astronomical alignments. There's so much stuff coming to knowledge in this age of Aquarius, where knowledge is going to be available to humankind as a humanity. The secrets are going to be unveiled with Pluto moving into Aquarius. So a lot of people are trying to run from those negative thoughts right now, and I just want to encourage you to sit with them for a little bit. I've struggled a lot this past month, and I've just had to sit with my feelings, and I've just had to really work through it and say, okay, are these abandonment issues that come up from my childhood? I had another ex oh my goodness, the exes in Mercury retrograde, right? Pop up in my dream. And in this relationship, it was a very on and off, on and off, on and off, on and off. And it was just, this person was very unkind to me in some ways that weren't justified. Like, I was a good person, and it just was completely unjustified. And lately they've been popping up in my dreams, and this is all like a sign from the universe, you know, to address the feelings that I'm having when other people are doing me wrong in life, and I've been kind to them, and there's been no excuse for it, you know. And so I really encourage you to sit with those feelings that are coming up, those negative thoughts that are coming up. I'm going to continue to do vent sessions, and I just warn you, they're going to be very candid. I've had some great friends reach out to me and be like, oh, Joanne, are you okay? And yeah, I'm okay. If I got a problem with you, trust me, I'll address it one-on-one. I ain't scared. I have an Aries moon. But I just really want to encourage us not to run from our dark side. I really want us to be encouraged to talk openly about our spiritual journey. There's nothing to be ashamed of. You know, if you need a friend, I'm here, you know, but be a genuine friend in return. That's all I ask, you know. I think that there's so much, you know, judgment around what spirituality is, and, you know, the link between that and neurodivergency. And I think that, you know, it's opening up a lot of communication, what makes us different, you know, like, I mean, it's great. Let's talk about it, you know, let's have a mature conversation about it instead of judging it. A lot of the people judging it makes me want to cry for them, just because they're doing it out of a fearful place. They're so scared to tap into this new realm, this realm that they didn't realize existed, and they've been existing on this planet for how many years, and to find out that there's something new unveiled, I mean, yeah, you know, there's multiple dimensions out there. There's much more than us, you know. So, like, they have a knee-jerk reaction, and they call it, you know, whatever they want, because they're fearful to know that it really exists. They're fearful to know that what they believed might get turned topsy-turvy because there's other variables that need to be considered. So this is my vent sesh. I'm almost to work now. And I just really want to encourage us to, you know, open up, talk candidly about it. I mean, now is the time to come together. And don't be scared to talk about your shadows, because if somebody is a true friend, they'll hold you in the light and the dark. They'll hold you and they'll support you no matter what side, you know, it is coming to light. You want to cry? Go ahead and freaking cry to me, you know? I don't want the fake version of you. I want the real version of you. I know that life, you know, sometimes we need that positive energy because, damn, life is so hard sometimes, you know? But let me tell you, you know, a lot of your negative, what you perceive as negative sides to yourself are really beautiful. I mean, just the shit that you've overcome. You're a warrior, and I'm proud of you. And I think that we need to talk about this stuff much more. I've been on here being very candid. Some are like, what side of this is you, Joanne? You know, you're not really a negative person per se. And I'm like, this is me. You know, I am a mixture of good and bad. I have good days and I have bad days. And I don't want to be fake with you guys. I want you to see who I am. That way when you're struggling, you're like, you know what? I'm not the only one out there. Because we can all struggle together and we can all pick ourselves up together and succeed, you know? And I'm very grateful for the people that have reached out to me, checking on me, wanting to be a good friend. Nothing's really wrong lately. Well, stuff is wrong. I'm a pretty private person. However, I'm going to try to open up on my shadows a little bit more with people because, you know, I started this new position a couple weeks ago, and somebody looked at me and said, you just look like Miss Perfect. You know, you must be the type to hang up your clothes in a Vans every day. And they just look at me like I got all my stuff together. I'm still saving for a home. I'm still renting. I'm still, you know, I'm still trying to gather a penny for my name. I'm still trying to, you know, get to a point where I'm comfortable being a mother. I know that might never come. A lot of people say you're never going to be ready to have kids, but I grew up in poverty and I don't want my children to be susceptible to, you know, that kind of lifestyle. So I really want to provide for them more. But a lot of people look at me and they're like, oh, you're Miss Perfect. And it's like, that is because I have a Capricorn North node. You're not going to see my struggle. You're only going to see my glow ups most of the time. Because when I struggle in private. I don't trust other people to really be there for me like I'm there for them sometimes. And just because in the past I've opened up to people and they've used it against me. I've shared with them, you know, concerns and fears and doubts, and just for them to go and do the same to me in a passive aggressive way. And so when I struggle, when I go through life events, I'm pretty private about it. But on these vent sessions, no need to worry, my friends. If I have an issue, I will hit you up, I promise. But I need to let it out because I want other people to say, you know, I have people that are using me and they gaslight me when I make my boundaries. Well, I want you to know that there's somebody else out there going through it, and you're completely justified putting up your boundaries. Boundaries are healthy. If you have some fake friends out there that smile at your face and the whole time want to take your place, you know, I want you to feel comfortable saying, you know, I don't have to accept those vibes as a friend. You show up for me how I show up for you, you know. I really want us to collectively get to a healthy level, and I realize that, you know, I could be all love and light and rainbows and sunshine because I really do like to focus on the positive aspects of life. I have a Libra rising, and I really want a harmonious life and a harmonious, you know, environment. But my Aquarius sun in this age of Aquarius says, you know, it's time to let the truth out. I'm not Miss Perfect. I don't have it all together. I'm struggling. We're all on the struggle bus together. Choo choo. But you're not alone, you know, like, I just really want us to know that, you know, this is me in everyday life. This is not an easy journey. I didn't get to enlightenment, you know, by waking up on the right side of the bed. I got to enlightenment by being broken, alone, crying to God, crying from like my soul, you know, like one of those cries where you're like snotty and just like your heart, like you can't even vocalize the words because your heart is hurting so much. Been there so many times. And people don't see that journey. They see the Miss Perfect. They see the part of me that gets back up with my Libra rising, looks so good doing everything, you know. But I just want you to know, like, we can all struggle together and we can be honest about it. Bottling it up like we have with mental, you know, neurodivergency all these years, it's not going to be the way to go about it. We have to address our shadows because life is duality, and we all have to embrace that there's positive and negative sides. So that we can address that there are things that need to be fixed. That's by addressing our shadow side. So thank you for listening to this vent sesh. I got to go in and work a hard day, 8 hours, and then go home and cook supper and clean my house. And that's what I'm going to do. So when I look like I have it all together, it's a lot of scheduling, planning, allocating my time properly. And I'm on the struggle bus with you guys. And let's ride this to happiness. And I'll see you next time, my friends. Love and light.